If you're taking supplements for brain fog and nothing is changing, the problem is often not the supplement. It's the timing, the pairing, or the way it fits into your day. Brain fog is usually a system issue. Sleep, blood sugar, stress, hydration, and nutrient status all interact. So a capsule can be the right ingredient, but the wrong moment. Or it can be blocked by something you're taking with it. Or it can be doing its job, but you're expecting a fast, stimulant-like effect. In this presentation, we'll learn the most common timing mistakes and combo errors that quietly cancel results. We'll also cover simple fixes that make your routine more consistent and easier to evaluate. The goal is not more pills. The goal is fewer variables and better signals, because when you change 5 things at once, you can't tell what helped. Let's start with the biggest reason supplements fail. They're fighting your daily physiology instead of supporting it. Moving to slide 2. Before timing and combos, get clear on what brain fog means for you. For some people, it's sleepiness. For others, it's anxiety, distractibility, slow recall, or feeling mentally offline. Those can come from very different drivers. Low iron can feel like low motivation. Blood sugar swings can feel like poor focus. Dehydration can feel like a dull headache and confusion. And chronic stress can feel like memory issues. If you don't define the symptom, you can't match the support. A practical way is to pick 2 markers, one mental, like focus or word finding, and one physical, like energy stability after meals. Then track them for a week with no changes. That baseline matters, because many supplements have subtle effects that show up as fewer crashes, not a dramatic boost. Once you know your pattern, timing becomes obvious, like whether fog hits after lunch, mid-morning, or late afternoon. That's the map we'll use for the rest of the mistakes. Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 1 is taking everything at once, usually in the morning, because it's convenient. The issue is that your gut, hormones, and neurotransmitters don't work on a single schedule. Some nutrients compete for absorption, some are stimulating and can increase jitters if taken together. Others are calming and may blunt alertness if you take them before a demanding task. Also, a big stack can irritate the stomach, which then reduces absorption and makes you skip doses. A smarter approach is to separate supplements into roles: foundations, performance support, and sleep support. Foundations are things like vitamin D, omega-3s, magnesium, or a basic multivitamin, taken consistently with the right meal. Performance support might be caffeine, l-theanine, creatine, or rhodiola, used intentionally, not randomly. Sleep support could be magnesium glycinate or glycine, used when you want downshift. When you split by role, you reduce conflicts and you can actually tell what's doing what. Convenience matters. Moving to slide 4. A common timing error is taking fat-soluble supplements without fat. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are classic examples, and many omega-3 products also absorb better with a meal that contains fat. If you take them with black coffee or a low-fat breakfast, you may be getting a fraction of what you think. That can lead to the belief that vitamin D doesn't work for me, when the real issue is absorption. The practical fix is simple. Take these with your most consistent meal that includes fat, like eggs, yogurt, olive oil, nuts, or salmon. Another detail is fiber timing. Very high-fiber meals can bind some nutrients and reduce absorption. You don't need to fear fiber. Just avoid taking your key fat-soluble supplements with a huge fiber supplement at the same moment. Consistency beats perfection here. Pick one meal, attach the habit, and keep it steady for a few weeks. If you change the meal every day, you change the absorption every day, and that makes your results noisy. Moving to slide 5. Another combo error is minerals that compete. The big ones are iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc. They can use overlapping transport pathways in the gut, so taking high doses together can reduce absorption of one or more. This matters because people often take a ZMA-style product, plus a multivitamin, plus extra magnesium, all in one window. Then they wonder why labs don't improve or why symptoms persist. A practical rule is to separate mineral-heavy supplements by a few hours when possible. Iron is especially sensitive. It tends to absorb better away from calcium-rich foods and away from coffee or tea. Vitamin C can improve iron absorption for some people, so pairing iron with a vitamin C source is common. But iron can also upset the stomach, so the best timing is the one you can tolerate consistently. If you're not sure you even need iron, don't guess. Iron is a nutrient where excess can be harmful. The broader point is simple. Minerals are not best friends in a single handful. Give them space, and you often get better results with lower doses. Moving to slide 6. Let's talk about magnesium, because it's one of the most common brain fog supplements, and it's also commonly mistimed. Magnesium can support relaxation and sleep quality for many people, which indirectly improves mental clarity. But if you take a calming form at the wrong time, you may feel groggy, flat, or unmotivated. That gets labeled as brain fog, even though it's really a timing mismatch. Many people do better taking magnesium in the evening, especially forms like glycinate. If your goal is muscle cramps or constipation, different forms and timing may make more sense, but for mental clarity, sleep is often the lever. Another mistake is taking too much at once and getting GI side effects. That can disrupt sleep and backfire. Start low, stay consistent, and change one variable at a time. Also, magnesium can interact with some medications by affecting absorption, so spacing can matter. The key takeaway is, magnesium isn't a stimulant. If you want clearer mornings, you often support the night first, not the morning directly. Moving to slide 7. Caffeine and focus supplements are another place where combos go wrong. Caffeine can improve alertness, but it can also increase anxiety, raise heart rate, and worsen the wired but tired feeling. If you stack caffeine with stimulating herbs, like high-dose rhodiola or yohimbine-style products, you might feel sharper for 30 minutes, and then crash into worse fog. Another issue is timing too early or too late. Too early can hit before you've eaten or hydrated, which amplifies jitters. Too late can reduce sleep depth, and then the next day's brain fog is worse. A calmer strategy is to pair caffeine with food and hydration, and consider l-theanine if you tend to get edgy. Also, keep the dose stable. If your caffeine intake changes daily, your focus and mood will change daily too, and that makes you blame random supplements. The goal is predictable energy, not spikes. If you want mental clarity, protect sleep first, then use caffeine as a tool, not a rescue. Moving to slide 8. A surprisingly common mistake is taking B vitamins at the wrong time or in the wrong form for your sensitivity. B vitamins support energy metabolism, but some people feel overstimulated, anxious, or irritable with high-dose B-complex supplements. If you take that in the afternoon, it can push sleep later, and the next day you call it brain fog. If you take it on an empty stomach, nausea is common, and then you skip it. There's also the more is better trap. Many B-complex products contain doses far above daily needs. That's not automatically bad, but it increases the chance you feel something you don't like. A practical approach is to start with lower doses, take them earlier in the day, and take them with food. If your diet already includes fortified foods, you may not need a megadose. And if you suspect a true deficiency, like B12, testing and targeted dosing is more rational than guessing. The takeaway: B vitamins can help, but they're not a universal fix, and timing can turn support into sleep disruption. Moving to slide 9. Now let's cover the absorption blockers people forget: coffee, tea, and certain foods. Coffee and tea contain compounds that can reduce absorption of some minerals, especially iron. That doesn't mean you must quit coffee. It means timing matters. If you take an iron supplement with your morning coffee, you may be undermining it. Another blocker is taking supplements with a very large calcium-rich meal when you're trying to raise iron. Also, some people take probiotics or digestive enzymes randomly, expecting mental clarity. But if your gut is irritated by the timing, you can feel worse. The practical fix is to create clean windows. For example, minerals away from coffee by at least an hour or two, and iron away from calcium-heavy meals. If you're using probiotics, take them consistently at a time you tolerate well, and give it weeks, not days, to judge. Brain fog can be connected to digestion for some people, but the signal is slow. If you change 3 gut supplements at once, you won't know which one helped or hurt. Clean timing windows make your experiment readable. Moving to slide 10. Another reason supplements don't fix brain fog is that the fog is coming from blood sugar swings. If your breakfast is mostly refined carbs, you may get a quick lift and then a mid-morning crash that feels like mental static. People often respond by adding more supplements, when the real fix is stabilizing meals. Studies on cognition and glucose show that big spikes and dips can affect attention and mental energy. The supplement timing error here is taking focus supplements without addressing the meal they're riding on. A simple strategy is to anchor breakfast and lunch with protein and fiber, and add some fat if it helps you stay full. Then, if you use caffeine or nootropics, they're working on a steadier foundation. Another practical tool is to notice the pattern. If fog hits 60 to 120 minutes after eating, it's often a meal composition issue. This isn't about dieting, it's about stability. When your energy curve is smoother, many supplements suddenly start working because they're no longer trying to override a predictable crash. Moving to slide 11. Let's talk about omega-3s because people often take them for brain function and mood, then quit too early. Omega-3s are not a feel-it-in-an-hour supplement. They work by gradually changing fatty acid composition in the body, and that takes time. The common errors are inconsistent dosing, taking them without food, or using a low dose and expecting a dramatic cognitive shift. Another issue is taking them at the same time as a fishy burp trigger, like on an empty stomach, then stopping because it's unpleasant. Taking omega-3s with a solid meal often improves tolerance. Also, quality matters. Rancid oils can cause GI issues and are not what you want long-term. The practical approach is to pick a reputable product, take it with your most consistent meal, and reassess after several weeks. If you're also working on sleep and meal stability, omega-3s can be a supportive layer, but they rarely erase brain fog alone. Think of them as background support that makes your baseline a bit better over time. Moving to slide 12. Creatine is another supplement people overlook for cognition, especially if they associate it only with the gym. Creatine supports cellular energy, and studies suggest it may help cognitive performance in certain contexts, like sleep deprivation or high mental demand. The timing mistake is treating it like a pre-workout stimulant. Creatine doesn't work that way. It's more about daily saturation. So the best timing is simply the time you'll remember, ideally with food if it helps your stomach. Another combo error is changing creatine, caffeine, and a nootropic stack all at once, then trying to judge what happened. Keep it simple. Creatine monohydrate is the most studied form. Start with a consistent daily dose and give it a few weeks. Also, hydration matters. If your fluid intake is low, you may feel off, and you'll blame the creatine. The bigger takeaway is that some brain supplements are really energy system supplements. They work best when your basics, sleep, meals, hydration, are stable enough to notice the difference. Moving to slide 13. One of the biggest combo errors is mixing too many calming tools and then calling the result brain fog. Magnesium, glycine, ashwagandha, l-theanine, and certain antihistamine-like sleep aids can all push you toward sedation. That can be great at night, but if you take them in the morning, or if the dose is too high, you may feel slow and unmotivated. Another issue is next-day grogginess. If a supplement improves sleep onset but reduces sleep quality for you personally, you might wake up foggier. The fix is to separate calm for anxiety from calm for sleep. For daytime calm, use the lowest effective dose and avoid stacking multiple sedating supplements together. For sleep, introduce one change at a time and evaluate mornings, not just nights. Also, consider that stress itself can cause brain fog. If you're using calming supplements to compensate for an overloaded schedule, they can only do so much. The goal is a calm, clear brain, not a sedated one. Your stack should help you function, not flatten you. Moving to slide 14. Here's a simple framework to fix timing and combos without overthinking. First, choose one foundation supplement to keep stable for 4 weeks, like vitamin D or omega-3s, taken with a consistent meal. Second, choose one target supplement based on your pattern. Sleep support if mornings are rough, or meal support if post-lunch fog is the problem. Third, set 2 daily check-ins, a morning clarity score and an afternoon clarity score, both from 1 to 10. Keep caffeine stable while you test, because changing caffeine changes everything. And don't add new supplements during the test window. If you notice improvement, keep going. If you notice side effects, reduce the dose or change timing before you quit entirely. This approach sounds slow, but it's faster than random stacking for 6 months. It also helps you spend less money because you stop buying just-in-case products. If you want a clean starting point, simplify to the basics, then add one variable at a time. Clarity comes from consistency. Moving to slide 15. Let's wrap this up. If supplements aren't helping your brain fog, it's often because they're mistimed, competing, or masking a basic issue like sleep, hydration, or meal stability. Take fat-soluble nutrients with fat. Separate minerals that compete. Be careful with stimulant stacks and late caffeine. Don't turn calm into sedation. And most importantly, test changes like a scientist, one variable at a time, with a simple score you can track. If you want to go one step further, consider discussing persistent brain fog with a clinician, especially if it's new, severe, or paired with symptoms like dizziness, shortness of breath, or mood changes. There can be medical causes worth ruling out, and supplements should support, not replace that process. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more practical, evidence-informed ways to build routines that actually work. And for a quick check-in, comment with your biggest issue. A. Timing, or B. Too many combos. This information is not a substitute